quarterback, did some good things at the end of the year last year. Just kind of what's your scouting report on their offense?
Well, he's got a year under his belt in the system, and he's comfortable there. That's one of the biggest thing that is glaring in the film so towards the end there. But all year they've been productive, and that's one of the things that we got to make sure that we're sound in what we do. Really, it doesn't matter. We got to make sure that we're executing our game plan. And but those guys, they've been working hard, and you can totally see the regression throughout the year. They were hit by a couple of injuries here and there throughout the season, but everybody that was plugged in there, they stepped up and played. So it'll be a great game for us.
Did you feel like your guys took another step during fall camp? And kind of what's the next evolution of your defense?
When we had sat down at the end of the year, it was more of a self-evaluation, self-scouting to find out really where we're at and moving forward. And the one thing that was glaring was we had to get a little bit more confident in what we do in the scheme and the techniques that we play by position. And the one thing that we harped on was playing hard, playing together. And those things, the guys, to their credit, they've stepped up and they've worked hard. And coming into a fall camp, they look different, they think differently. But again, it makes it more conducive for us to continue to push and demand a little bit more. And that's what's been taking place.
What do you think about your depth? Who are some guys that you gain confidence in over the course of this month?
Well, you always want your older guys to improve. And if they make improvements, it makes everybody else, elevates everybody else's level of competition. So, Jalen and Jordan and Austin, those guys, and Gary, even Carver, those guys, everybody, if you look at the time from spring ball to summer to now, the tremendous job by those guys to demand more of themselves and also just, the buy-in. And that's one of the things that we're always talking about is no matter when and how your name is called, when your number is called, you got to go. And so we continue to harp on the fundamentals and the mechanics every day. And those guys continue to elevate themselves playing-wise because they're getting more comfortable in just, playing sound football.
You were able to get a look at Popo, and I think like you saw early in camp, was he able to sustain that through the month?
Popo's coming along, and the one thing about Popo, he's very conscientious. He cares a lot, and he's been removed from football for a while. And with a little bit of health and opportunity, he's making the most of it. And so we're counting on him to continue his growth and his progression.
Do you feel like a game week practice today would feel a little different than the fall camp at all?
With the way we're going and the volume of plays and the practice setting. It's game, but we're still thumping, and so that's a tribute to the guys and the way they've been elevate their condition level. So we just got to continue to work through this again tomorrow, and we'll taper it off at the end of the week.
Javon Holland is a newcomer we've heard a lot about. Why do you think that is? Why is he standing out?
Well, I think he's steady. I think he's got confidence, but I also know that he's been groomed before coming here. And you have a kid that's football motivated in every sense. Being a student of the game, he's one of those guys that are really, really taking in the opportunity to be around the football. And that's not by accident. When we're talking about being a student of the game, Holland truly is one of those rare ones that they're excited about the game of football, and they prepare like that. And so those guys continue to grow, and other freshmen, they're going to help us as a team moving forward. So.
What makes him special or maybe different from other freshmen?
Well, I think he does more of his talk by his play. And again, we were talking about being around the ball. When that ball's in the air, if Holland's around, most likely he'll be around that ball. So, you'll call it a ball hawk. But again, everything happens before that ball is thrown in the air, and he does a phenomenal job of playing technique and really taking in the knowledge to understand what we do in the back end. And so that's a tremendous job by Coach Hayward in the back end and Coach Williams, Dante, in getting those guys in a position to have those. But, again, we're excited that he's here, and he's going to make us better.
You mentioned the pace of play that the offense is actually going with. I know Cristobal said yesterday they want to get to about 90 plays. Has that made it so your guys have had to be more conditioned on the defensive side going against that?
I think that goes, again, with the mentality. And when you train a certain way, you got to walk a certain way, and you got to prepare a certain way, and those things go hand in hand. You can't really talk through those kind of elements. You have to practice and you have to work at it, and because we see it every day. I mean, the conference in itself, the way the football is evolved now, you have no choice but to game plan around that type of football. And it's a NASCAR on grass, and we got to prepare for it and be ready, and we got to put our guys in a position to be acclimated to it.
With the code DC label, does your role at all change from last year to this year on Saturdays?
No, not at all. I mean, the biggest thing is making sure that our guys in the middle up front continue to play with sound, fundamental, and have a presence. Title's title. We all got to understand that we have a responsibility of making sure that all the guys are talking the same talk and walking the same way. And, it allows you to give an opinion. But again, when we throw the film on, that's what matters to all of us. Either our guys are getting it done or we're on. So that goes back to, by position, we have to make sure that, we are continually to develop and evaluate our guys in that regard. But no, it's been fun to kind of collaborate over the game plan and how we assess certain things, and we'll continue to do those things.
When you look at Bowling Green, what stands out to you? Specifically Scott Miller, maybe?
Well, their offense has been steady. They've been able to put up numbers, over the year last year, and that's kind of distorted because they haven't really been able to play decent defense. But they got a lot of guys coming back, and those guys had a tremendous offseason, from it sounds like. And so, we're looking forward to the opportunity. Our guys are going to be excited for a chance to see where we're at, and we're going to find out soon.
A lot of orders on the opening depth chart, but your group, I don't think, had any orders. Does it feel like the pecking order is pretty set on the defensive line right now?
No, it's an NFL thing, man. You gotta prove it every day, and you're going to see a couple of wrinkles in our rotation here and there. And part of that is just making sure that our guys are not in that set mode, that they have a ride that it'll never be finalized. We'll continue to evaluate and show the film to the guys, and guys that do it right on a consistent basis, guys are going to get the opportunity to play in whatever capacity that may be. And so it just puts us in a position to be able to elevate our play, and that's got to happen. And it's been like that when I got here. And so tremendous job by everybody, but we got a long ways away to go.
There's a lot of true sophomores on the defensive depth chart. Was it just that they came in at a good time when there's a lot of opportunities for true freshmen to play last year? Or is there something about that group that's been a little special?
A little bit of both. Opportunity meets preparation. And those guys, again, when we're recruiting a certain type of character, a certain type of prospect, and it's got to fit our mold, but also they got to be realistic about how bad do they want it. And certain Power 5 schools, certain university presents different opportunity with us. It was exactly what we had visited with those guys about, opportunity, and now you're seeing the immediate impact they're making, and that's going to continue for us. For us to be able to take that next level of progress, we have to get those premium type of players that are truly looking for an opportunity and not just be enamored by the process of recruiting. So we're excited for those guys, and we'll continue to mold and find ways to get them prepared for that next season of play.
From a defensive perspective, how would you describe Oregon's power offense tempo that you guys have going on? Shane Lemieux described it as nasty.
I think we've kind of put some bulk on it, some muscle. So you got speed and muscle coming their way, and it's tremendous to kind of see the change that they made in just a short amount of time. You got to understand that from when we got here last year to now, the progress that those kids have made, and we're so excited for them because unless you believe, if you don't believe in a philosophy and a way of doing things, it's hard to implement a culture. And we have Shane Lemieux and Jake and those guys leading the forefront. Tremendous job, and that's something that we're excited about for them, because now we get to move with a speed but a little thump, and hopefully a whole lot more thump coming. So we're excited about that.
Can you just quickly talk about what the staff has done to address the penalty struggles that we've seen the past couple of years?
Well, I think those things, man, we go right to the film. Right to the film, and then right into our teaching. Are we teaching it? Is there something that us coaches are not addressing? But those are some of the things that we, for us to even have an opportunity, coaches and players got to see those things on the film and then address it with the way we implement our drills. And that's the only way you can get it. And then, challenge the guys, challenge them to see if they can keep their poise under duress. And that's, anybody can play when they're fresh. It's those critical moments when you're physically depleted, where your mental state of mind has got to be clear and stable. And part of that is all about teaching and how we coach them. So again, it goes back to coaching. That we're teaching a lot to happen, and we're all hands on deck trying to make sure that we're constantly identifying those things and see if we can remedy those.
And with the addition of the officials at practice, have you seen an improvement in the guys?
A lot. And just their attitude. That's the biggest thing. The attitude and effort. You got to have effort. You got to play this game fast, full speed, or we don't have a chance. And we just got to continue to get more and more of those from our guys. And we do that, we'll continue to see our guys progress. And they got to police that as well. It cannot be just one day at a time. It's got to be every day. So we're excited about that. All right, guys.
Thanks, Coach.